is the Fade 5 Podcast with Brad Evans and Nate Lundy.
Place your bets, you jackwagons! This is indeed the Fade 5 Podcast. Brad, the Big Noise Evans, raising the decibel level here alongside the good sir, Nathaniel Lundy. We got the NHL postseason. We got the NBA postseason. We got a full slate of Major League Baseball games, so let's not hesitate at all. Let's not be reluctant. Let's hop aboard the Honk Honk Plus Bus straight away here on this Friday edition of the Fade 5 Podcast. And if you're not familiar with the Plus Bus, we buy a ticket on it routinely here on this program. This is our favorite longer odds wager of the day, plus 100 or even money or greater. Lundy, I will give you the honor, my good man. Who are you a front seat passenger on this evening?
Well, I hope everybody jumped on the Plus Bus with me yesterday. I know we did not have a podcast, but if you were watching the great and talented Tim Murray and Sean King on VSiN,
my boys,
you saw me jump on there with the guys, and I said, by the way, guys, this was kind of a parting shot that I gave them. I said, one of my favorite bets on the night was for the Lakers to have the lead at halftime and Denver to come back and win it. That was at plus 390.
Woo!
And we nailed that one yesterday, which means I'm royally screwed today. So just pay no attention to what I've got. But that was a nice paycheck to be able to cash last night. Brad, I'm going to take us on the Plus Bus on a three-legger in the MLB. All I need is money line winners here. First, we're going to do the Texas two-step. Give me the Astros and give me the Rangers. Rangers are hosting the Colorado Rockies. Houston is against the A's of Oakland. So we've got those two, but the plus number wasn't good enough for me. So I went ahead as the Brew Crew will travel down to America's Wang. They will take on Tampa Bay. So give me Tampa Bay as well in that. So Houston, Texas, Tampa, all three on the money line in the MLB for us this evening, plus 182 over at DK.
Oh, that's a spicy meatball, my man. I like that quite a bit. We're going to have more action on a couple of games that you just tossed out here momentarily. My plus action of the night is Seiya Suzuki, konnichiwa, of Chicago Cubs, a Japanese import, I believe, is going to knock in a run. I just need one ribby against the Philadelphia Phillies. And look at the juice there. Oh, yeah, work those shoulders at plus 200 at DraftKings Sportsbook. Look, the Cubs are royally sucking right now. They draw 5 straight games. All of a sudden, the St. Louis Cardinals, who we were pointing fingers and mocking and laughing at like a couple of weeks ago, they're ahead of the Cubs right now in the NL Central, believe it or not, after last night's action. But when you look at Suzuki and what he's done this season, 13 for 33 with 8 RBI and a 990 OPS against left-handed pitching. And who was taking them out for Philadelphia? Well, it's none other than Ranger Suarez, who is a southpaw, and I do not know that in Spanish. Suzuki 2 for 3 with a triple against Suarez in limited action he's seen him in. And Suarez's season, look at that ERA. It's unsightly at 6.75. He's been rather unlucky based on the BABIP numbers, based on the XFIP, which is at 2.85. So there is an ERA reduction bound to come eventually, but why I like this, A, Suzuki and all the success he's had against lefties, B, the limited success he's had against Suarez, and C, the fact that Suarez has given up a 46.7 line drive percentage. That's one of the worst in baseball. So when guys are making contact, it's generally of the laser variety. So around first base, and then immediately go back, say Suzuki, because you already scored an RBI. Or you can round all the bases. Hit one over the fence. You're on a home run streak right now. It doesn't matter how you get. Sack fly, I'll take it. Ground to a double play with the bases loaded. I'll take the RBI regardless.
I got an RBI the other night because of a bases loaded walk. I'll take that.
Sure. I don't care how you serve it up, Seiya. Just get me a run driven in with both those plus money bets on the board. Let's get after it with another edition of the Fade 5.
Number 5.
All right, numero cinco on the countdown today. I am going with a kind of an off the radar selection. I've been really zeroing in some of the first 5 inning matchups on the MLB slate tonight, and I love this one. I'm going to take the Braves and the Mariners under 4.5 runs through 5 innings. It's a standard juice, minus 110, available right now at DraftKings Sportsbook. We got a battle of the Bryces in this game. Bryce Elder taking the mound for the ATL, and Bryce Miller, who has been a surprise sensation, toe of the rubber for Seattle. You look at what Elder has done this season, 1.94 ERA, but to peel back the layers of the onion, he's got a 1.04 ERA first time through the order, and a 1.89 ERA second time through the order. So he's been a king of consistency really early on in games. And you look at Bryce Miller, barely been hit at all this year, practically untouchable, 0.47 microscopic number ERA with an outstanding 18-1 strikeout to walk split and his 19 innings pitched. Atlanta's number 5 in runs scored, averaging 3.30 through the first 5 innings, but Seattle is number 19 in that category. So given the high level production out of the gate, first couple times through the order by both of these pitchers, and the fact that Seattle has struggled to play a bunch of guys early on in games. I mean, the ATL could be up 4-0 and we still win. So Lundy, fade or follow. Braves, Mariners, under 4.5 total runs through the first 5 innings, minus 110 at DraftKings.
I think you're onto something when you say it could be 4-0 Atlanta, though. I'm gonna follow on this one to stay under 4.5. But here's the thing: as much as we want to talk about that lovely, that sterling, that sparkling, just like a lovely princess cut engagement ring of Bryce Miller. Brad, he's had 3 starts, and one of them was against Oakland, and the other was against Detroit. So while I'm not trying to take anything away from the rookie, he has looked good. He's got the strikeout to walk ratio that you just talked about. He's got a sub 0.5 ERA. I'm telling you, that's not going to last because of those 3 starts. One was against the Astros, but the other 2 were Oakland and Detroit, 2 of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. So I'm gonna hold back my overall praise long-term on Mr. Miller because he's about to face off with a murderer's row of a lineup against the Braves. If he can keep doing it against a lineup like the Braves, I might start to buy into the rook for Seattle. But right now, I'm a little bit nervous about who he has faced so far. So I'm going to follow, but it has more to do with the fact that I don't think Seattle can score than it does necessarily a lot of faith in Miller.
Channel Greg and Maddox. Channel the big unit. Keep this number down. Bryce's.
Number 4.
All right, numero cuatro on the countdown today. We're going to stick with the first 5 innings theme, and Letty already touched on this. He loves the Rangers tonight. I think they're going to get a hot start out of the box in this contest against his Colorado Rockies. I'm going to take Tejas, the Rangers, minus 1.5 on the run line through the first 5 innings, meaning they're going to be up by at least a couple of runs at the termination of the bottom of the 5th. That occurs, it's plus 105. So you get that nice juice there at BetMGM. Why am I high on this? Well, you look at Martin Perez this season, who was taking the ball for the Texas Rangers. He is 6-1 on the money line through the first 5 innings on those wagers. Now, obviously, I'm baking in a little bit of assistance here from the offense, but the Rangers have been an outstanding offensive team early in games, number 2 in Major League Baseball, and runs scored per game through the first 5 innings, averaging 3.56 runs per contest. Colorado, just number 19 in that category, averaging 2.57 runs per game. Lundy, I have never heard of the guy who is taking the ball for the Rockies tonight, so I have no idea who the hell that guy is. All I know is I am tailing the history and the success, the trend that Martin Perez has had, and the fact that Texas has often, like the temperatures outside there in the Lone Star State, started off in fuego in games. I think they get a sizable early lead and coast to an easy victory here. Again, Rangers minus 1.5 on the run line. First 5 innings against the Colorado Pebbles, that's really what they are. Plus 105 at BetMGM. Lundy, fade or follow?
Brad, Carl Kaufman will be on the bump for
Who is that?
Colorado Rockies. Brad, let me give you the only thing you need to know about Mr. Kaufman. So far here in 2023 for the Albuquerque Isotopes, he has made 8 starts, and 8 is the magic number because that's nearly what his ERA is.
Oh my
he
God.
has a 7.78 ERA in 8 appearances for the Isotopes. And the Rockies are like, yeah, sure, come on up. We'll put you on the bump down in Arlington. Have fun with Marcus Semien. We'll see you later. I'm all about this. Look, it's why I put Texas into the parlay that I did right off the top with the plus bus. Folks, light it up with the Rangers tonight because I have a feeling that is what Texas is going to do to Mr. Kaufman.
Oh, light them up indeed. And light up the bank that is going to hit your roll with the Rangers.
Number 3.
All right, numero trace on the Fave 5 today. Let's go to the Eastern Conference Finals, shall we? Way to go, Denver Nuggets. Up 2-0 so far, holding off the LA Lakers. You hit on north of a 3-1 odds parlay last night. So did your boy on SGP in that game. Thankfully, Anthony Davis. Oh, it was sweaty. I was puckering up. I just needed 18 points out of him. Thank God he hit that 3 late in the game. Otherwise, I would not gotten that parlay to cash. But I feel this prop is going to cash in Celtics and Heat game numero dos. I think Jaylen Brown's getting the over. 30.5 points plus rebounds, minus 110 there at BetMGM. He had 31, so you understand where the line is set in game 1. And you look at the regular season, he went over this number all 3 matchups against the Miami Heat. He had 51 in one game, 33 the other, and 32. It's all about the volume. He's averaging 18 attempts per game in the postseason, netting 53.6% overall from the field. Now, he's only been over this number 6 times in 14 playoff games. But you look at Miami, really middle of the road are the Heat, and opponent rebounds per game and points per game here in the postseason, ranking numero ocho. That is number 8 in each of those categories. So Lundy, Jaylen Brown, are you about to get down with him on the over 30.5 points plus rebounds, minus 110 at BetMGM?
It's a good stat combo for him because you pointed out the fact that he keeps hitting it. He's been putting up great stat lines. Now, I'll give you an early one that was going to be in bonus time, and it's juiced to high heaven, but take whatever the over is on his turnovers because he does keep turning the ball over, folks. And in fact, if you can right now, it's most of the books have the number set at 2.5, and the over is way juiced up.
Wow.
Like it's the sort of thing you probably would want in an SGP as opposed to by itself. But if your book happens to offer you the chance to take an alt turnover line and take it up to 3.5 to bring the juice down, do it. Because that has been part of his problem. So a little early bonus time there for you, whether you want to work it into an SGP or bet it by itself. It's the only blemish in his box score. He's been doing the points and rebounds, as Brad was just talking about. I think this is a solid bet to take the over on the 30.5. But he's also been turning it over. And, look, that's part of Miami's MO. So I'm not surprised to see them stealing it, getting long arms in there, causing him some problems. So take that as an early bonus time, but jump on this one. I think Brad's right. He may finish the game, Brad, closer to the mid-30s. I think he hits this and hits it comfortably.
Blemish in the box score? That is my life story.
Number 2.
Numero dos here on the Fade 5 podcast, sticking with the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's go with the ancient one, the venerable Al Horford, and I'm taking the under. Yeah, I'm living in the land down under on rebounds, and that number set at 6.5, minus 115 at BetMGM. Yar! Shiver me timbers and me mateys. I think Captain Hook's going to come into play here. Which creature's really emerged consistently on this prop for Al Horford this season. In game number 1, he had exactly 6 half-dozen rebounds. And in the 3 prior regular season matchups against the Heat, he also went 6 boards, and 5 rebounds. So he has been under in all 4 tilts against Miami this season. He's hit the under just 6 times in the 14 postseason games. That's why I think this total is set at 6.5. And you look at Miami. I already mentioned this. Number 8, the Ocho, an opponent giving 44 exactly per contest here in the postseason. And not only that, too, but they're shooting a reasonable 46% from the floor. So maybe not a whole lot of clangers, maybe a lot of buckets from Jimmy Butler. And if it is raining from outside again, from Strus, from Vincent, hell, from Caleb Martin. I still can't get over the fact that he had 3 threes in game 1. He's not going to have a whole lot of rebounding opportunities. So fade or follow, my man. Again, the elder statesman of the Boston Celtics, Al Horford, under 6.5 boards, minus 115 at BetMGM.
I don't do fantasy NBA anymore, and it's been a long time since I have. But when I did, this guy used to be on my roster. That's how freaking old he is. Brad, I'm actually going to fade you on this one, and I have no logic behind it other than it's a little bit of a TYG for me. We know that he beat this number in the semifinals on a handful of occasions against the 76ers. Yes, he finished right at the hook in the first contest. For whatever reason, I get the feeling there's going to be some sort of slop rebound that happens for him in the final 4 or 5 minutes of this game, and he manages to take the over. So this one I got to fade you on for no other reason than just a Friday TYG.
Oh, have a towel or Kleenex ready. Woo! We're going to have to dabble the brow with Al Horford boards.
Number 1.
All right, numero uno on the Fade 5 today. I just need one stinking block shot. That is all from Jimmy Butler, because the line is set at 0.5, and I'm taking that over. 0.5 a block shot, plus 125. Yeah, work those shoulders and get seduced by the juice at DraftKings Sportsbook. Jimmy block shots instead of buckets. You look at what he has done. He had 0 in game number 1. Now, he had 6 steals. He was a kleptomaniac in that first game, really showing off the defensive skill set. But he has been over this in 5 of his last 7 postseason games. He was over in one matchup and under in the other against the Boston Celtics in the 2 games that he faced them in the regular season. And you look at the C's overall in this playoff stretch, they have got up the 6th most opponent blocks per game at 5.3. It's a hustle stat, and Jimmy Butler, as usual, is going to be all over the floor, stuffing the stat sheet and stuffing somebody's junk into the seats, because we're getting a block shot tonight. I'm taking that over, plus 125 at DraftKings. Lundy, fade or follow?
I'm actually going to follow, but I'm going to fade at the exact same time. Here's what I'm going to do, because before we got ready for the show, I actually had this written down to go into bonus time. His over-under for steals plus blocks sits over at DraftKings at 2.5, but the over is plus 110. So I'm actually going to slide over. I'm going to play that one instead, because I am giving up a little bit of juice. You've got plus 125. I've got plus 110, but I'm opening it up to both of the stat lines to give me a little bit of an extra chance to be able to hit that over. You talked about the swipes that he's had. He's done it numerous times here in the playoffs. So I like him for the block, but the bet that I like is actually to jump over and do the steals plus blocks at 2.5, only because I'm getting it at plus 110, and I'm buying myself a little bit of that cushion that we talk about sometimes by popping both stat lines together in this one. So I do like this one. I happen to like mine a little bit better.
Just toss somebody shit, Jimmy. That's all I ask. Can you please do that? And speaking of tossing shit, that's exactly what we do in this section of the show. It's bonus time. Lundy, reach to the nether regions and like a monkey, just throw it against the wall. What do you like tonight?
What nether regions? What are you talking about? What the hell are you doing in this one that you're trying to tell me to be reaching into nether regions for stuff?
Go deep.
Holy cow. All right, let me go to the baseball diamond, shall we? Man, the stolen bases were so much fun in the first couple of weeks of the season, and then the books caught up. to us, which is frustrating as hell because I was really enjoying all the plus odds that I was pulling in. You can still get this at plus odds, but Brad, it has come all the way down to even money at plus 100. This is insane, but it's all the way down to plus 100. And that is for Bobby Witt Jr. to have a stolen base for Kansas City tonight against the White. Isn't that wild? Back at the beginning of the season, you were pulling in these numbers at plus 300 or higher. We're now down to even money, but Bobby Witt Jr. has 13 stolen bags on the season, and he's going up against Kopech for the White Sox, who's given up 9 this season, 9 times, 9 so far this season. So plus money right there on Bobby Witt Jr. for a stolen base at plus 100. I'll also throw this one out there for you. I did not see the number, but if we assume that Bryson Stott is leading off as usual for the Philadelphia Phillies, I like him for a stolen base as well. So a couple of stolen bases in there for you. Part of the reason why, one, it's Marcus Stroman on the bump for the Cubs, who, as good as he has been in terms of pitching, has allowed 7 stolen bases to his opposing teams so far in this season. So a pretty solid number there in terms of what he's given up on the base paths. And lifetime, it's not a big sample size, but lifetime, Stott is 2 for 3 against Stroman. So he's shown the ability to get on base, and if he does, I think he'll swipe a bag. So I like Bobby Witt Jr. for Kansas City. I like Bryson Stott for Philly. Again, assuming Stott is leading off, which is where he should be in the lineup for them. Let's go over to the Western Conference Finals of the National Hockey League, shall we? I'm pretty sure that Florida and Carolina are still playing right now, given the fact that they nearly made it to a 5th overtime last night. Oh, my goodness. 6th longest game in NHL history. Forget the postseason. In NHL history, the 6th longest game played last night. Congratulations to Florida for winning that, even though you screwed my parlay. So for Vegas and Dallas tonight in game 1, couple things that I like. Give me the opportunity for Roope Hintz to have an anytime goal. He's sitting at plus 190. I think goals could be at a premium tonight, although I'm staying away from the money line. I'm staying away from the total because I think it's a little bit unpredictable. As good as Vegas looked in the matchup that they had against Edmonton, I'm a little concerned that it could still be a false front because Vegas has struggled with their goaltending all season long. But on Dallas's side, Roope Hintz has 19 points in the postseason, including 9 goals. So I'll take him at the plus odds at the plus 190 there. You can also take him on his shots prop if you want to on the over on that one. And then on Vegas's side, give me Mark Stone to wind up with an assist for this evening. You can get that one at plus 120. He's second on the team in the postseason in assists. He's got 7. Jack Eichel leads the team overall with 8. But give me Stoney to be able to get an assist in this one tonight. Really like that one at a plus 120 odds there. A couple other shots on goal. Keep an eye on Joe Pavelski. His number's way down. It's at like 2.5. And there's part of the reason why is because he's not necessarily known for taking a lot of shots. But I do believe they're going to try to test Vegas from a goaltending standpoint as much as possible. So you can actually grab the over on 2.5 shots for him at plus odds. It's probably a half unit play for me because I do think that there's a question mark there, but I love the fact that it's at plus odds, so I don't mind doing it on the half unit. And then I'm going to sprinkle this one in just because that plus 390 hit for us last night between the Nuggets and the Lakers. In the last 10 times that the Vegas Golden Knights and Dallas Stars have played, 6 of them have gone to overtime. 6 of the 10 have gone to overtime, including 2 of the 3 times that they played this season. It's plus 310 for them to be tied at the end of regulation. So I'm sprinkling a bet on that one just to see if the trend continues. Maybe not the 4 overtime that we saw last night in the Eastern Conference Finals, but I think it's highly likely that these 2 teams need an extra frame to make it to the game 2. So at plus 310, I'll play that one. As always, yield the floor to the gentleman from Illinois.
All right, let's go ahead and blast out of the gate here with the Team Huevos Parlay Play of the Day. Lundy's all about fading the Oakland Fs because you always fade the Oakland Fs. They're taking on Houston. So on this parlay play, give me the Houston on the money line. You look at what they have done straight up on the run line. The A's have even failed to cover there in 8 of their last 10 games. I don't even need the 1.5 involved. I just need Houston to win this thing straight up. So we got some protection built in. Give me Houston to score at least 3 runs, which they should be able to do with relative ease against Ken Waldachuk. You look at the Astros, they're got a 55-point higher OPS against the lefties this season. That's exactly who Waldachuk is. Give me Yordan Alvarez to get an RBI. I think he could have multiple, honestly, in this game. He's a guy that's hitting 300 this season with 15 ribbies against left-handed pitchers. And then get Mauricio Dubon, the premier table setter for Houston, top of the order there, just to get a hit. And he does that very consistently on the season. And you look at Waldachuk, a 7+ ERA, a hard hit rate approaching 40%, sweet spot rate that's out of control. He stinks. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, mi amigos, plus 260 at DraftKings on that 4-leg Team Huevos parlay play of the day. Oh, but wait, there's more. Team Huevos. We got the Eastern Conference parlay play numero dos of the day here. I'm not going to give any reasoning. I'm just going to read off what I wrote because there's a lot of legs. This is like Calvin Ridley territory here. Quite scary. I hit a 7-legger last night. I reduced it by a leg tonight. And you see the juice there, plus 240 at BetMGM. Miami on the alt line, plus 15.5. I think they'll keep this reasonably close against Boston here in game number 2. Jimmy Buckets to get at least 20 points. Bam Adebayo for 2 or more assists. Sneaky good stat. He has been good in here of late. Malcolm Brogdon, who's been making it rain this entire postseason. I just need a 3. And then Jaylen Brown, 25+ points and rebounds. Again, I like the over at 30.5 on the standard line. And then Marcus Smart, I don't know if he's going to do this like in the first quarter, similar to we did in game 1, but I like him for 4 or more dimes. So all 6 of those legs, I can't count that high in Spanish, plus 240 at BetMGM. All right, got a couple more baseball plays on the board for you. Play numero uno. Let's go to that Arizona matchup on the road there in the Steel City, taking on Pittsburgh. Give me on this SGP, Zach Allen, 6 or more strikeouts, Dominic Fletcher to get just a hit, and Arizona 2 or more runs. That is plus 110 at DraftKings. Look at Gallen. He's got over the 6 strikeout mark in 7 straight games, one of the highest swinging strike percentages in all of Major League Baseball. And Pittsburgh, guys, in the month of May, number 1 in highest K rate in Major League Baseball. Dominic Fletcher just murders right-handed pitching. The lefty swinger is 17 for 38 this year against righties, who Johan Oviedo is. For the Pirates. And by the way, Oviedo this season against left-handed hitters, he's given up a 305 batting average. So he's been used, he's been abused by left-handed hitters. I think Fletcher gets a hit tonight. And then Arizona scoring 2 or more runs. Guys, they've only done this in 30 straight games. 3-0. That is correct. 30 straight games, they scored at least 2 runs or more. They have the 9th highest run total here in the month of May. So to recap, Gallen 6 or more Ks, Dominic Fletcher to get just a hit, and Arizona to score at least 2 runs. And the fact you're getting that plus money, that is a gift from the gambling gods, plus 110 there at DraftKings Sportsbook. And last, and certainly not least, mount up Ryan Mountcastle. I think he gets over 1.5 total bags. It's a minus money, and usually this prop is like, plus 105, plus 110, plus 115 and upward, but it's minus 110 at BetMGM. But there's a good reason for it. He's taking on Toronto Blue Jays, and you say Kikuchi, and he's going to lay a couple of smoochies on that Kikuchi. 4 for 9 lifetime, and all 4 of those hits against Kikuchi have gone for extra base hits. 3 of them have gone for home runs. So he's got a spectacular 2,101, that's obscene OPS versus Kikuchi. He's also given up 11.1 barrel percentage to the opposition. Mountcastle has knocked at least a couple of total bags 8 times here in the month of May, and is batting .333 against left-handed pitchers. Go ahead, Lundy.
Oh, no, I had him on my list. I knew we were running short on time. Let me throw one more total base out there for you. Give me Xander Bogaerts to go over 1.5 total bases as well. 300 lifetime average against Paxton for the Red Sox, including 3 home runs and 2 doubles.
Ooh, very nice. I like that play quite a bit. I'll add it to the list. And we are out of time here on the Fade 5 podcast. Please drop us a rating and a review if you enjoy this show. Also, Fade or follow us on the Twitter at Nate Lundy. Follow his work at his free spreadsheet picks. I do the same damn thing at Noisy Huevos. For the incomparable Nate Lundy, I am Brad Evans. Until next time, as always, feed or follow. That is up to you.